they were very good at what they did. And they said, you know what, I can make more money doing it myself, especially if they know what was being charged. You're being billed at $125 an hour, but you're making 20 an hour. Well, forget that. I can go out and bill at 120 an hour myself, right? And they get grandiose ideas and they run out and they start their business. The problem that they did not anticipate is that in that $120 an hour, there were secretaries that were doing things. There were bookkeepers that were doing things. There were social media people and salespeople and all these different ancillary positions around what you were doing that still have to be done.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this workshop that I'm doing with Jamie. Oh my gosh, this is so amazing because we have had a few conversations so far. We have recorded a podcast episode together. And obviously, the next thing on the list was to do a workshop together. So here we are. Hello.
Woo-hoo. How are you?
I am doing good. I hope that you are doing good as well. Busy day, as I have heard.
Amazing. Yes, being busy is a good thing. I never complain about that.
Same. I love it when I have busy days. I'm just like, this is my moment to shine. Yeah.
Exactly. Now let me create a caveat on that. Being busy on revenue producing things is good. Being busy on fulfilling things and busy work is not so good. And I think we're going to talk about that when we talk about systems.
Yeah, I love that too. And I feel like there needs to be a good balance between both of these, because according to my perspective, I often see things in the side of, is this creating value in the way that is it helping me go out there and create indirect sources of income and recognition almost, versus is this helping me actually create hard cash right off the bat, So I feel like there needs to be a nice, healthy balance. But again, we'll talk about this when it comes to systems. But yeah, today's topic is all about new entrepreneurs, to all the baby solopreneurs out there who are just starting out. We wanted to speak about how important it is to have systems in place and how important it is to actually recognize your stress. So I know when we are starting off, there is a heavy sense of, oh my God, I'm so motivated. Let's go. You're excited and you're gunning to go and everything seems right. And then the very first obstacle you hit, you go from here to here.
Yeah.
And at that point of time, it's like, this is everything that my friends, my family, every naysayer ever said coming into reality. And that's just after the first obstacle. They warned me about this, and yet I had to go out there and do this thing. So I feel like it's important to recognize that this is just one of many obstacles, but entrepreneurship is not only about the lows, but it's also about the highs.
Yeah.
And I know that goes against a lot of things that people tend to believe when it comes to motivational speakers and people who are like, let's go be entrepreneurs and everything's exciting. In the beginning, they don't want to see the harsh reality of the fact that you are going to end up crying yourself to sleep a couple of times in that journey, if not more. What do you have to say about that, Jamie? Like, do you think, let's get real. Have you ever cried while you were setting up your business and you were like, God, this is...
I don't think I cried. It takes a lot for me to cry, but I think I definitely rethought going out and getting a job again. I definitely rethought, what the heck am I doing? I definitely thought, why and what do I need to do to make this better?
Yeah. And okay, so I wanted to touch up on something over there. I wanted to talk about the stress of actually going through the lows. Now, I feel like a lot of us have the picture perfect thought process, and I had this too, of the minute I open my business, everyone is going to come over to me. Everyone's going to be like, oh my God, Madhurima
You
opened
know
a
that they will
business.
come. We have a movie called The Field of Dreams that people think
Oh,
business is the same way.
yeah.
It's not.
Hardly anyone came, you guys. I had to actually go out there and start talking. First of all, I had to go through the shock of it, the fact that no one seemed bothered or cared
Right.
enough
Why
to
are they
actually
not
be.
coming?
Yeah, why are they not clapping and celebrating this amazing moment in my life? Almost. And so, uh, that thing kind of disappointed me, but also set the stage for everything that is to come next, both in good ways and bad. Because in the good ways, I was like, you know what, at least I have one person showing up to the thing that I'm doing right now, as opposed to none of them showing up earlier. But yeah, I feel like it's really important to realize that you took the leap of faith of starting your own business, and we and every entrepreneur out there who has been in business is celebrating you for it. I feel like the important aspect of it is you have to sustain it. You took the jump, now you have to sustain that jump. You can't just take a jump and fall down. You have to open your parachute and actually soar through and utilize the winds to actually enjoy the process rather than just
Well, yeah. And one of the things that you've got to be willing to take the leap and expect that you can build the airplane on the way down.
Exactly.
And know that I have come to a point in my career where I celebrate failures because I know a failure, I've learned a lesson, and it's going to lead me to an even bigger success.
Yeah.
Because now I know that lesson. They talk about not Albert Einstein, Thomas Edison, who invented the light bulb, right? He failed 1,000 times before he actually got the light bulb. What if he gave up the first time? Then we may not have lights today, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I love the concept of that, I feel like, I lost my chain of thought. I was like, I'm going to say something really dope.
A bigger success on the other side.
Yeah. Oh, no. But, oh, yeah, I got it. I feel like when we say that we have to learn from our failures, there is this potential thought process of it being toxic positivity. But I feel like it is hard earned lesson that turns into positivity, because a lot of people are like, oh, they don't care about their failures, but I'm like, no, I care about them enough to turn this into an opportunity.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I too am not into toxic positivity. Everything's going to be okay. No, it's not. If you don't fix it, it's not going to be okay.
Yeah.
But now that you failed, you found a weak point in your system. You know that there's a solution that you can look at and figure out, how did I do it with this customer that worked and this customer that didn't work? I see that there's a difference in the process, in the system I used. Let's use the one that worked, not the one that didn't. Or let's create a new version that may work or may not, and see what the difference is then, like the light bulb, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I feel like we need to understand the importance of actually going through failures. And I feel like a lot of people consider failure as not only failure in their business, but also a failure on themselves, when in reality it is a bit different. It is not as interconnected as we hope for it to be. Is that is a different personality, yours is a different personality, and you have to go through them a couple of times before you can actually work on things out. You can work things out. Plus, we are in the age of digital, where everything is available on a way. Yeah, all you have to do is search.
You don't need to go to the library to research anymore.
I know. And you don't have to be like, okay, you know what, I have to catch a flight and travel all the way across the world to actually meet with the mentor I need to learn from. They're one Zoom call away.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, oh my God. Yeah.
We're what, 5,000 miles apart at the moment?
Probably. Probably. I'm all the way over in India.
And I'm on the east coast of the United States.
And here we are day and night
There you
meeting
go.
together to actually get you great content. So let's go.
Love it.
I love it. And I wanted to touch upon this. Jamie, I wanted to ask your thoughts on this because I know that this falls under your business area or your niche. I feel like sustaining and scaling your business doesn't need to be stressful. Like, I can understand why it is stressful for most people, but just because this is the norm of you having, if of you being continuously stressed out during the process of scaling up your business and actually sustaining it, doesn't mean that I have to actually fit into that norm. What do you
No,
think?
of course. And I find with most startups
Mhm.
that it's somebody who did whatever they're doing in somebody else's business prior to this.
Mhm.
They were in the corporate world, they worked for a mom and pop shop, whoever, but they were very good at what they did. And they said, you know what, I can make more money doing it myself, especially if they know what was being charged. You're being billed at $125 an hour, but you're making 20 an hour. Well, forget that. I can go out and bill at 120 an hour myself, right? And they get grandiose ideas and they run out and they start their business. The problem that they did not anticipate is that in that $120 an hour, there were secretaries that were doing things. There were bookkeepers that were doing things. There were social media people and salespeople and all these different ancillary positions around what you were doing that still have to be done. And now all of a sudden you are wearing all of these hats plus the zone of genius that you want to be doing in your business anyway.
Yeah.
So what I have worked out with many startups is finding a way to automate what the secretary was doing, what the social media manager was doing, so that those tasks or skills are still being taken care of, but you don't have to do it. And you don't have to do it regularly. So that's when we start talking about systems. In order to make what you do happen, what has to happen first? What has to happen next and next and next? And maybe you're step 6. So what are steps 1 through 5? And how can we either use software and technology or use outsourced VAs or part-time programmers or social media people so that we can build the systems so those things are happening. They're happening consistently and profitably, and we can spend our time in our zone of genius where we think and can make the most difference in our clients' lives.
Yeah, I hear you. And I feel like, I like to think of it as hiring really good babysitters who have the autonomy and understanding, and babysitters, both AI and human, to actually handle and take care of your baby and to help you raise your child, your dream project.
Your business.
Yeah, your business in a way that doesn't need to be stressful. And I need to stress on this. Stress is something
Don't
that
get stressed out.
yeah. Yeah, stress is something that can lead to burnout. That is the reality of the game, is that if you don't manage your stress right, if you don't take care of yourself properly, it can lead to burnout and it can get so bad. And I'm speaking from experience because I was depressed. I was going crazy, and I was just like, I need to escape this place, but I can't because money, this, that, all these things tied up before I actually had to quit. And burnout is not a very nice process to be in, which is why I was really excited to actually bring Jamie on here and have her share a few tips on what you can do to actually automate your business and create systems, and more importantly, actually talk about how systems can help you sustain that business and scale up. So Jamie, I wanted to ask you this, what is the importance of building up systems, outside of what you've already shared? Why is it so important to actually have systems in place?
Well, it alleviates what you have to do, as we've talked about. But B, creating systems ensures that you have a consistent process, a process that you know works and that things don't fall through the cracks. One of the things when I started my business, because I didn't have the right systems in place that stressed me out, was when I put my head on the pillow at night and went, oh, shoot, I forgot X, Y, and Z. And I would get up out of bed and come do X, Y, and Z and think, okay, now I'm done. I can go to bed, and go back to bed and put my head on the pillow. And another thing would pop up like, oh, you forgot this too. And it would go on and on and on.
Yeah.
And, you know, the never ending to-do list is something I tease, how many of us have read Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Work Week with starting our business in mind? And what I've seen in the really real world is people who are startup entrepreneurs end up with a 4-hour sleep week instead of the 4-hour work week, because they're so stressed and working. They're working extra hours. So one of the first things that I always suggest to create systems is tracking your time, tracking what it is you do for a 2-week period. And I actually have a gift, if it's okay, if you go to tracker.keepitsimple.strategies.info, and it's a sheet with a couple of columns. And in one, every 15 minutes, you're going to write down what you did for the last 15 minutes. Sent this email, replied to this social media post, did this, and each one will have its own line. And then it'll ask whose role, if you had a big corporate entity or you had many people working for you, whose role would it be? Social media manager, a secretary, a manager, a janitor, right? Whose role would it be? How long did it take? Is this a revenue producing activity, or is this a fulfillment activity, or is this more of a bookkeeping back-end records type activity? And so when you track that, you're going to find that this email you're sending, you send over and over and over, and it takes 4 hours a week for you to send this, copy and paste this email. Well, that's one of the first things we can create an automated system for. When this happens, send this email. Done. You're not waking up worrying about it. It just happens. And different pieces. So as you do that, we find most of our clients end up with 4 to 6 hours extra a week that they've eliminated all the busy work because of the systems they put in place, whether they're software systems, people systems, processes, catching something before it gets to a certain point, because then you have backup that you have to do to make it all. And not to mention the crazy phone calls from the client saying, why didn't this work? Or what's happening? Or where's my order? Eliminating all of those kinds of things.
Yeah, I honestly love that. And I wanted to touch upon something you said, I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs start out by 4-hour work. Oh, I forgot the name of the book.
4-hour work week.
4-hour work week. Yeah. And they get excited by it. But the reality is, when you actually quit your job and start doing something that you absolutely love, there are zero boundaries around it, especially in the beginning. You're just like, I am having so much fun. Let me continue doing this. Oh my God, I'm feeling stressed out, but let me just see if I can push a bit harder. Let me see if I can continue doing this. Maybe it will disappear. I feel like we continue to strain ourselves and forget the fact that we started our own job, our own business, mostly to make sure that we get more time and freedom to spend with our family, our friends, ourselves, doing whatever we want to do. But starting a business, you realize, oh, that's not possible. Because I have had so many people, senior executives, honestly tell me that, Madhurima, that sounds stupid. Like, you have to burn the midnight oil. You have to work hard, especially when you're setting up your business. I'm like, no, you don't. You just need to manage your resources better. You need to manage your time, your energy, and your money better. right? And like you said, like we waste so much time when it comes to just copy pasting emails, and actually having,
Absolutely.
yeah, and having automated
Well,
something like that is crazy.
and the other thing that we really waste time on is thinking it's easier if I do it myself
Exactly, delegation is so
rather than
hard.
training someone. Yeah,
Yeah.
because training can be difficult. Not when you have the right systems in place.
Mm.
It makes it simple. You do it one time, you video it, you use Loom, for instance.
Yeah.
If you're showing someone how to do something digitally, you videotape it, you record it. It's now your training library. You give it to the VA, they watch it. It doesn't take any of your time.
Exactly.
And there's so many pieces. You know, one of my taglines is, we move entrepreneurs from frustration to the freedom they started their business for in the first place.
Yeah.
My focus is building your business around your life, not your life around your business.
Exactly. And I feel like I need to say this as well. I feel like you said in the very beginning, we start off by doing something or creating a business out of something that we are extremely passionate about without realizing the number of people who are supporting that process or that idea while we were working in a 9 to 5. I find a lot of jobs taxing, like editing my podcast, editing my videos. I find it absolutely tasking. I have it taxing. Oh my God, I need to change that word. Feel like I'm messing it up as I said, but it's like I don't like to sit down, make shorter videos, repurpose my videos. Like I want someone else to be able to do that without me having to spend time, because I spend time recording it, I spend time editing it, and now I have to spend time re-editing it to the point where I can put it up as shorts and stuff like this.
And that's typical. It's easier if I do it myself, or it's cheaper, quote unquote, to do it myself.
Yeah.
One of my first mentors taught me, because as a single mom starting a business by myself, when she asked me to track my time, we found, doing laundry, cleaning the house and other things that I had to do to take care of the 3 kids in addition to what I'm doing. She looked at me and said, hire a housekeeper. I'm like, I can't afford a housekeeper. And I thought about it for a few minutes. A housekeeper would cost me $15 an hour. I bill at that time, I was billing at $100 an hour. I was like, I'm losing money by doing this. I could be spending money with my clients instead of editing the videos.
Yeah.
By the way, I have a great podcast editor I can introduce you to who does it for inexpensive and does a great job.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. So hire out those things that you dislike.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you can hire somebody at a rate lower than what you charge for your billable hours.
Yeah, I hear you. And it's like you are allowing someone else to work in their zone of genius. You would probably do a crappy job because you are rushing to do other stuff.
Exactly.
You are letting someone else do the job right. And again, I love that, like it was costing you $100 to not hire a housekeeper.
Yeah.
What's the cost of it? I love to ask this question. I love to ask this question to any clients, any potential clients that I am onboarding. I'm like, what's the cost of inaction? What happens if you don't do this right now? And I would love to ask you the exact same question. Everyone who's watching this, what's the cost of inaction for you to not hire help that can help you support this? And it's the cost that you are losing out your time. Time is valuable for
Absolutely.
all of us. You don't want to waste it.
I've gotten to the point in my career where I don't put my hands on the keyboard except certain emails. My VA handles most of my emails. She handles most of my social media. I've got a podcast editor. I've got a programmer. I've got a copywriter. Yeah. I speak and on events like this, on live stages, and I speak to the clients and I give them the strategies they need to move forward. That's my zone of genius. That's where I excel. And that's where I make the most billable hours and can afford to pay for all of those other people that are supporting me. So it makes no sense for me to stop and delete 5,000 emails or respond to 100 messenger messages she knows who I am. She knows my voice. She can handle all of that for me. So, and hiring can be difficult, but when you do it right, and I have a system for that, by the way. My biggest tip when you're going to someplace like Upwork or one of these job boards, hide in the middle of your text when you're talking about what you're doing, hide a message that says, when you respond to this, in the subject line, put the words pink elephant. If you don't put the words pink elephant, I will not read it. You'll be surprised how many people actually do it. And the ones who do, you know, have read it. The rest of them just see the job and they slam in their resume and think that they're going to get the job. They haven't paid any attention. Well, if they don't pay attention to get the job, they're not going to pay attention in the job.
Oh, I love it. I love that tip. Okay, I have to ask you, what would you say to anyone who has a fear of delegation? What would be something you'd like to say then?
A fear of what?
The delegating.
Oh,
tasks.
delegation.
Yeah.
Got it. One of the things I learned a long time ago, and it goes back to what you said a few minutes ago, I'm excellent at certain things. I'm okay at other things, and I really suck at other things, right? If I decide that I have to do all of it, and I don't have the best person doing what I need done, I'm setting myself up for failure, and not a good failure. So I want to surround myself by people who do better than I do. I had a boss once, back when I was in the 9-to-5 world, who would only hire people that weren't as smart as he was. And he would hire people in positions, and I was transferred in from the outside as his assistant at the time. And I kept saying, this person's not very good. And he's like, yeah, I don't want him to pass me up. I'm like, no, you got to hire good because they make you look better.
Exactly.
Right? Cream rises, all boats rise with the tide. If you have crappy people working for you, you have crappy solutions or crappy services that you're putting out. Yeah. So let's do it the right way, hire the right people, provide the best service for your clients, and you rise to the top.
Oh, I love that. I love that metaphor so much. I want to ask you, what is your one tip that you would like to share for anyone who's scaling their business? Like, what is the easiest way, the very first step that they can take, even if they're doing it themselves, to help scale their business or systemize the process?
Track your time, as we talked about with this tracker. Second, outline what the process from start to finish should look like. What's the best step? If you have those two things down, everything else falls in place.
I love it. I love it. Oh my God. Okay. This has been such a wonderful workshop. I want to keep it short because I want to have people's attention at the things that we are saying, and also reach out to us if they need more help on this, because I know that if we were to speak about this, we could go on and on and on because I'm the kind of person who doesn't know when to stop sometimes. And so I have to be like, okay, that's enough. You need to calm down. But yeah, this was so wonderful, Jamie. I want to ask you, do you have any last things you would like to share with any new solopreneurs out there who are struggling to manage their time, struggling to kind of figure things out in their world? Yeah.
Sure. When you download the tracker at tracker.keepitsimplestrategies.info, I have, after you've downloaded it, an offer to meet with me for 30 minutes at no charge. If you want to discuss where you're at in business, what the next steps are, what the process is, where your failures have been, any of those types of things, that's what I do. So my gift to you is that discussion. If during that time you decide that you like what you hear and you want to work with me, we can talk about something like that, but there is no obligation whatsoever. So reach out, take the steps, listen to what Madarima has been teaching you in the workshops, and keep striving. Don't give up. It's, so many people that I've met give up. There's a book one of my clients wrote called 3 Feet from Gold. Sharon Lecter wrote it with, she edited Think and Grow Rich. Can't think of his name. That's terrible.
Oh, yeah,
But
I can't
it's
think.
called 3 Feet from Gold. And how many times have you given up right before you get to the finish line, to the big win?
Napoleon
So,
Hill.
Napoleon Hill. Thank you. I knew it was an N. I'm just having one of those moments.
No, it's cool. I was like, I know it's so close to my head, but yeah, please continue.
Yep. So don't give up when you're 3 feet from gold. Go for it.
I love it. And just to end off with that, I would like to say that I am also doing a wonderful 30-minute session for anyone who's struggling with burnout, who's struggling to manage their stress, anything that's holding them back, any limiting beliefs that are showing up for you. I honestly invite you into a really safe container one-on-one with me for 30 minutes where we can actually understand what's happening and work together rather than me giving you advice and being like, do this, do this, do this. I would love to have a conversation with you and allow you to shine and speak from whatever's coming up from within you and fine tune it so that it actually works for you. So yeah, if you want to, you can reach out to me, and I would love to support you in this journey. Just as Jamie, please reach out to both of us. I will be adding our links below this video when it comes out on YouTube or wherever it comes out, so that you can reach out to us. I will also be tagging Jamie if I post this on Instagram, if a snippet or something like that. I'll tag you so that people can again reach out to you. And I hope that you baby solopreneurs have a lot of fun on this journey, because it is so worth the ride. You're just 3 feet away from gold and diamonds and platinums and all the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
Yes.
Bingo.
I love it. Boom.